Yo, what's up guys? Bajheera here. So yesterday we did a little 2v3 commentary about a nice comeback we had against a rogue mage priest. And you guys seem to like that commentary, and I like making commentaries as well. Made a lot in the past. I'd like to get into them again currently, because I feel like the pace of the game is a little bit faster for 3v3 at least. I do need to mention that in 2v2 they made a change where dampening starts at 0% rather than 20% at the beginning of the arena, so 2v2 has ended up being a way slower bracket, which is a little bit less fun for sure, but I feel like we can still do some commentary and definitely hope that they revert that change at some point. Like, for example, we've been wailing on this block for probably about 4 or 5 minutes at this point, at the starting of the video, but it is at this point where things probably at least start getting going in terms of the way the game actually works. They actually have a lot of pressure on my druid right now. I gotta be kind of scared about that. Markers loves to go in there and get offensive and try to just kill stuff with his feral druid, Resto Druid gameplay, so I definitely need to stop that drain life, because I don't know how many stacks this guy has at that point, but drain life can definitely chunk if they're playing the talent for it. So one of the things I'm trying to do right now is sit on this lock, then defend my druid because he's a little bit low, but we also have a chance to turn things around a little bit because the shaman kind of gets close to me enough that I can fear him. I pop a lot of cooldowns. The lock has to pop his unending resolve to reduce damage that he takes, and we actually force both his wall and the shaman's spirit link with all of my coolies. So now it's a matter of just continuing to apply pressure. Shaman drops earth and wall totem, which means that he's not going to take as much damage from my cooldowns. Pretty sure I missed my kick like a noob there. You know, you're going to miss kicks, baby. You got to go for it. Now he gets a nice little drain life, but since he already drained my druid recently, it's not going to hurt me that bad. So with a warlock, I mean, like, with affliction, their job is pretty much to just kite you around and deal damage. This guy, because he has earth shield on him, doesn't really need to kite very much. But since he did pop his big dark soul cooldown, I just go ahead and trade parry for that. My parry, because of the conduit I'm using, is like a 1.5 cooldown. So if you see a 2-minute cooldown, that's like probably one of the only scary things that's happening this game. Let's go ahead and launch that parry. But like I said, locks, their job is to kind of kite you around quite a bit. So he's using some of his mobility to port, some of his mobility to gate around, but I mean, I have leap, I have charge, I have night fae, and even there I'd actually just use intervene to my druid to get back to him. So he's getting pretty low health. We're chunking. The shaman's standing next to me, which is pretty nice. It gives me a chance to get some sweeping strike leave on him if I had sweeping strikes available. I think all we did is just war breaker him and keep pumping. My druid lands the clone, which is beautiful. I get feared, which is aight. But then it's just like, at this point, like I said, the game has been going on for a little while. I land the double night fae shockwave. I think I'm playing unhinged here, so let it rip with the blade storm. Once again, I could have used sweeping strikes before that blade storm. I could have feared out of my shockwave, but at this point in the game, the shaman's its dampening is kind of well set at that point, and we can just kind of finish off the game with some damage. We're not playing at super high rating for these games, just kind of some fun stuff to do while we're I think I was waiting for raid at this point or something like that, but all good. Just get up some 2s, man. I'm really glad that you guys have been enjoying the 2v2 arenas recently. Hopefully you guys have been just finding them entertaining, and I think that for new players, 2v2 is a good bracket to kind of learn. So against rogue mage, the main thing that I want to do here is watch out for the mage's combust. So rogue cooldowns are really scary, but my druid is more concerned about me using cooldowns during combust, so that's fine by me. Right here, I did some kind of wacky stuff, dude. I reflected poly. I put a banner down because I thought the rogue was actually going to land CC on my druid, which he did not. I also used my fear before they actually did anything, so that was kind of a bad opener. But fortunately, they used everything on me, so my trinket parry gets like omega value. I'm able to kick the sheep. I'm able to intervene the blind on my druid right there, which is I was watching for that blind that whole time, and like I said, I did some weird stuff. Don't really want to use fear until they commit, right? Because if you just use the fear before they do anything, it's kind of like that fear is kind of not doing anything. So I don't really think I played this game all that well, but we intervened blind, and that helps a lot. So at this point, they used like everything in the game. They used every offensive, every defensive, so they're pretty much just dead. So I wanted to put this game in there though, because you can definitely play the opener a lot better than that. Like a lot of what you're trying to do against rogue mage is like stop their setup, but they kind of have to go first, right? So I mean, you should definitely like try to deal damage to them, but what they're gonna do like is they're just gonna try to kill you in setups. Like every kidney is scary. If they don't kill you the first time, and if you overuse cooldowns, they'll just kill you the second time. So I think the big thing is try to have your healer be able to respond to rogue cooldowns, and you as the warrior can respond to mage cooldowns, and that's just kind of part of the deal. They just don't overlap too much. Make sure that you slow them down, and you know, use disarm, use fear, use stormbolt, in addition to your defensive cooldowns to stop them from killing you guys. So this is a little windwalker monk game. I've seen a lot of people talk about windwalker monks as one of the classes that gives them trouble, and completely understand that. Windwalker monks are crazy. They're probably the best melee right now. Even though warriors are super solid, windwalkers do a lot of damage and have a lot of utility. But in this situation, you saw me open up with the fear on the shaman and get karma on the monk, and use my parry as soon as the monk got to my druid with his cooldowns, because I just intervened my druid and just parried. Because, like I said, parry is a short enough cooldown, and twos are kind of a slow enough game that you can kind of trade that pretty well for karma and Zwen, all this other stuff. So, just saving my druid there, helping him out a little bit. And then it's just massive pressure on the monk while my druid just kills the shaman. So this, like I said, Marcos loves to play super offensively. Does a bunch of damage to the shaman. Shaman has to respawn, then Marcos just backs off and starts landing clones on him. Something to think about against Windwalker monks. I don't do it here. Just Bladestorm the cap totem so I don't have to get stunned by that thing. But one of the big things is stopping fists. So you have Stormbolt. You can't Stormbolt every fist. But saving Stormbolt on a monk for when they use Fist of Fury is a really good way to kind of turn things around. I have Nightface Shockwave that can stop it, but you see I'll Stormbolt right there, and I can actually turn that into my own offensive pressure here too. Monk has the Karma. It is on my cooldown, so it's a fair trade. I mean, I used Avatar, I used Warbreaker, I used my Nightface Shockwave, I used everything on him. But the Shaman is kind of spending a lot of time staying close to me, which means I can get him into fears, then we can get them both into stuns from my druid. But I think from what I've been doing against monks mostly, I mean, like, this is kind of the strategy against a lot of classes, is just kind of bounce around and create pressure. Monks are a little squishier than you as a warrior, so I feel like, I mean, monks chop right through your armor anyway, but I feel like you can kind of beat monks up quite a bit. But putting some pressure on the healer is good too. The thing that I don't want to do is just let this monk run at my druid though, because I feel like that's not good for my druid, it's not good for me. What's kind of funny here is I get the sweeping strikes up, and I Bladestorm so I can cleave my mortal strikes off of Zwen, but like, I'm able to get cooldowns with Avatar and with my Nightface Shockwave and stuff, and then I still have Bladestorm as like a big, you know, unhinged Bladestorm as like a big cooldown to finish them off, which worked out real nice for us. But yeah, I wanted to share a monk game just because like we really, like, this session was like 4 games, but it was like, okay, these are kind of some cool matchups. Rogue Mage, you're going to see that. A lot of Windwalker monks, you're going to see that. Something that you also might see is some Feral Druids. Feral Druids are pretty strong, man. I don't know, dude. I feel like they're kind of sneaky powerful. But I'm able to get the kind of a nice opener there. The fear on both, Nightface Shockwave. Could have hit both, and then I got a little bit of Bladestorm action on both of them. So here's another situation where me having pressure on Priest is great. But I also don't let this druid just come over here and kill my druid. So I intervened my druid there to take some of his damage. I'm pretty sure the feral druid wanted to stun me, but if I intervene to stun, that's cool too. He just swaps me for a second, does a little bit of damage, doesn't really need any cooldowns. I don't even go D-stance for that. Got no respect for that. So one of the things I could do with my druid, since he loves, this is just for me really, since he loves stunning so much, is I should probably be using my Stormbolt on the healer so he can just rake stun the DPS so we don't stun at the same time. But I'm doing a little bit of peels here and looking for opportunities to cleave though. Like when I can get to the priest, that's great. And sometimes, like if I can create enough pressure for the feral druid to get off of my healer, that's great. One of the things you need to look out for is thorns though. So if you see the feral druid's got thorns, don't want to deal with that. Put a reflective for the clone. He didn't actually cast it, but that's fine. So my druid's just chilling back there. They want to come fight me. This is where things get real nice because I can actually cleave them hard. I stun the priest on the end of his Door of Shadows, so even though he Door of Shadows to my healer, so if you see a priest casting Door of Shadows, they're probably trying to cast it at your healer to go fear them. Not getting faked on mind control right now, I'm not really worried about it. I have Spell Reflect if I need it, so mostly just kind of holding on to kick for a little bit. Intervene to my druid, I'm able to kick that clone there. I have big cooldowns, so it's great if these guys stack up, so I can get the sweeping strikes and big damage on them. They don't stack up there, but I see my druid doing some CC action to the enemy team's priest, so I think I can go ahead and pop cooldowns. Thorns, once again, it's kind of like, alright, it's a very annoying cooldown because it's not a big cooldown to use, but it's definitely like something where it's like, okay, if they use thorns, you kind of don't want to hit into that because you will definitely just die. Another thing to watch out for a priest is trying to find ways to stop mind games. Mind games is an ability that makes any damage you deal heal your target, and any healing that you would have done to a target would damage it. So with Resto Druids, especially, like, they have hot swirling on their whole team. If they get a mind games off, like, they can't just not cast, like, right? Like, some healers, you get mind games on, you're like, ah, crap, I can't cast. But with the Druid, if you have hot swirling, it actually just melts your entire team. So you gotta watch out for that. So mind games gets on my Druid, but he dispels it instantly, which is good, so we don't die. And now I'm continuing to do what I've been doing before, is try to walk at Priest as much as I can. I don't need to be in a D stance there, so I go battle. Just keep beating up on this Priest, and if the Feral has to come over here and peel me, that's great, but this is a bit of a mistake here. My Druid's just killing the Feral back behind the pillar. I really should have stunned the Priest there, rather than stunning the Feral. I think I could have just executed the Feral. But a bit of a mistake. I could have just ended the game right there, but you can already see how much pressure we have. Once again, with my Druid dealing damage to their Druid, me just having uptime on their Priest, and then whenever I see the Druid kind of close to me, I can always hit him for a second. You know, Hamstring doesn't make that much of a difference for Feral Druid because I can just shift it, but still getting, you know, some bleeds on him, still getting a Mortal Strike on him makes a little bit of a difference. I've been experimenting with Rend a bit in 2s, not too bad. This is a juicy moment right there. I got a big Night Phase Shockwave on them both, got them both stuck in the Vortex, and I'm getting the Unhinged Sharpened Blade Storm Mortal Strikes on them, so they should have died earlier if I played a little bit better, but missed my kick. He's cloned. He's dead. So we're making plenty of mistakes in these games, plenty of room for improvement, but that's just how it always goes. But especially with Warrior right now, we have so many fun tools to use. It's a great time to be a Warrior, and I'm having a blast. Hope you guys are too. Wanted to whip out a quick 2v2 commentary just to get in the groove, just to get in the habit of it so I can make more of them, and so I can have a video for you guys to enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to show the video some love in the likes and comments, and subscribe for more because there's going to be tons more. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.